What is it? That doesn't answer the question. What is it? Is that some sort of like, I don't know, mechanical? No, I don't want to say it. We started recording.
Just because it's near my bed doesn't mean it's some sort of device.
You knew exactly what I was gonna say. She knew exactly what I was gonna say.
It's an arm to hold my phone when I'm in bed.
Okay, that's smart.
Hold on. What's the name of the thing again?
What was that noise? What was that noise? Oh,
welcome to Make It Make Sense.
Hey.
Hello. Make that noise make sense. No, hold on. No, let's move on. Stop it. Behave. Everyone behave.
Welcome to Make It Make Sense.
Do you want to retake that?
No, not really. So today it's me and Moni. We got
Darrius. Again, I'm dead. Yes, hello.
Stoffel.
Hi, nice to meet you.
And Mr. David Chill.
Excellent. How do you do?
Yeah, so great. This is our debut on this podcasting, but we'll get it going.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
so Coke.
Huh?
You're drinking a rum and Coke?
No, it's apple juice.
So it's been an interesting few months for film and television. We can all agree, especially in like Hollywood and the Hollywood world. And I think for all four of us, the big thing to come onto our screens is WandaVision. I think we can all agree. It's been like, I mean, to be fair, it's WandaVision that sort of brought us all together and made us decide that this needed to happen. But yeah, we're going to talk a bit about it. Does anyone want to make tracks?
So what episode are we up to now? 6.
Episode
6 of 9. Episode
Correct.
6 of 9. So
9. Wow.
Obviously, like, let's be honest, it was very much, when it first began, it was very much like a 60-40 split where 60% of people were being, this is trash, this is dead after phase 3, and Iron Man get finished. And we were all here like, okay, now you got to be chatting the most shit right now. Firstly, I enjoyed it. Like, the vibes are good doing this sort of sitcoms throughout the ages. Bellissimo. Anyway, but like, it was just like, we knew it was going to be sort of weird, sort of ethereal with these, like, even from like episode 1, we were like, had that bit where the man started choking. We were all like, what the fuck? Like, and we've been watching it relatively together, but like, you know, we all knew it was going to be something special. But now we're at episode 6 and we're just like, give us the rest of the 3 episodes, because at this point we just need to get this finished, because, you know, you're leading us along the garden path. I've been vibing with it, you know.
The last 3 episodes are going to be an hour long, aren't they?
Yes, it needs to be done, doesn't it? I mean,
yeah.
Last few episodes were what, half hour?
Yeah, like they've been slowly getting longer.
Yeah, no, like, wait, have they been?
The last one felt.
Last one felt.
They covered more ground.
Here's the thing: I feel like even when the other ones were shorter, they did put a lot into the sort of like the 50s one, the 60s one, but now we're in the 90s, and it's like it's very much sort of broken the fourth wall at this point. You know, we're jumping between Monica Rambeau and what's going on inside the dome. Though I don't know what else to call it. The other universe, whatever it is. Westview. Yes, let's call it by its name, Westview. Yeah. Even though we know Westview is just a front for something more sinister, but that's beside the point. It's getting longer each time, and I don't know. Like, I thought I knew what was going on. I thought it was going to be House of M. Now I'm not so sure. I don't know where we are. Does anyone want to like? Does anyone have any theories so far? Or
let's first of all, let's push out the prominent, glaring theories that are circling at the moment, mostly surrounding the appearance of Pietro.
Yeah.
Is that It's not
I
Aaron
want,
Taylor's one.
I want to
X-Men
die. Oh
Quicksilver.
my gosh.
I forgot the kid's name, but it's not Aaron Taylor. And before it was, just massive. Oh my God, there are X-Men in the Marvel universe now. This is amazing. What does this mean? This, that, and the third, rah, ta, ta, ta. And now, following episode 6, and you pay close attention to some of the dialogue that's coming out, and episode 6 was basically a massive Easter egg hunt. They were dropping Easter eggs left, right, and center. They dropped Easter eggs to kick ass, man. That is how
I noticed that, and I was like,
that's how meta they were. There was the obvious ones, which was the comic accurate costumes and things like that, and then obviously with Billy and Tommy, becoming more
so like
main stars, part of the main cast now, having more of a bigger role in the show. There's more speculation like, now they're getting comic accurate costumes too. Does that mean that Marvel's planning to bring in the Young Avengers and they can follow this storyline and that storyline and this, that, and the third?
Are they
but
real though?
Here's the thing. The main question, let's discuss this now. Do we think that Pietro Maximoff is Mephisto in disguise?
No.
They haven't. I don't think they're going to bring in the devil just yet.
Here's the thing.
Because they brought in think about it. They brought in Surtur for Ragnarok, who was as close to Satan as anything will ever look.
No.
I don't know.
Possibly for Doctor Strange, I can see Mephisto.
He will be there, but he's
appearing.
not. I don't think Mephisto is there in the way that we think he's there. You know how like Pietro got dropped into the universe? I feel like that is Pietro, and in the same way that everyone else is sort of under mind control, it's the same sort of thing. But the difference here is that Mephisto or the devil in general is always some sort of ethereal omnipresent figure that's out there in the ether. Like,
I feel like if you remember Fantastic Four Silver Surfer movie, how Galactus was just kind of a cloud of bad. Like I feel like Mephisto, like all their like celestial beings and stuff, they're not gonna have them on screen in a suit kind of thing.
We've seen a celestial in the MCU before. We saw them in Guardians.
One little flashback of him going boom. But like
and he was like a but here's the thing.
Wasn't like, oh my days, who is that? You didn't need a name tag. You saw the helmet, you saw the giant size of the thing. You're like, celestial. Simple.
To be fair,
so like
people who know comic books would be able to pick that up, but like in the MCU, they have to kind of like make people who don't watch those movies.
Like a good example of that would be in Guardians 2, when there's like, we're gonna have Ego. It's like you're gonna have a face planet.
Yeah, exactly.
Come across as
but I think it's more likely to be like that though.
What do you mean?
Because like how Ego was both the planet and we got to see him as a face planet,
exactly,
and the person. It's more likely that they're gonna do it because even now I'm looking at Mephisto. Mephisto looks like that. So see that? See this red, dead-looking motherfucker. What I'm thinking is that if we're gonna get a Mephisto, he is going to be. Does he have shape-shifting powers? I'm assuming he would.
Yeah, I mean he's
got magic and immortality. So like, let's go with that.
Sense of lives.
So that's what I mean. So I'm assuming that he's either disguised as some. I doubt he would be disguised as Pietro. I think it's more likely he's pulling the strings from elsewhere and might appear at some point. I don't think we've got to that point yet, and he probably will. Maybe even is Hayward. Maybe he is Hayward. I feel like that's viable.
If I don't think it's Hayward, only because
I think that's more viable than him being Pietro.
But here's the thing: before Quicksilver arrived, everyone was saying that Agnes. They were like, I think Agnes is actually Mephisto in disguise, and then Quicksilver appeared like, it's probably him in disguise. And now you folks saying Hayward, just on what I know about reading comics, thing like that. That's just like a not very Mephisto approach.
It's true. It's true.
To tackling a problem. Like,
but here's
the archetype of the big government man, the man in the suit trying to point a gun at our heroes. We've kind of seen that already. We saw it
I
with
don't
the
think
Hulk,
I
we saw
don't.
it with
It's
Civil
less
War,
likely Hayward.
we
You're
saw it
right.
with Winter
You're
Soldier.
right. You're
Like
right.
Marvel's
You're right.
already done this.
True.
So,
I don't think it's Pietro though.
they're going to do it again in Falcon
Can't
and
be
Winter Soldier,
Pietro.
so you don't have to.
Again, damn it. I feel like Mephisto may appear or some character like that. I think there were rumors going around that Nightmare was going to be the next villain.
Yeah, I read that.
I think that's viable as well. But in that case, if it's them, then they're doing it from some outsider perspectives and warping the minds of, or like taking advantage of Wanda's what's it called, her grief, and doing this to her, whether it be Mephisto or Nightmare. And then I feel like Pietro and these people are getting dragged from wherever, put in, and they're just being used as puppets to mess with her mind. I feel like Pietro probably will end up being X-Men Quicksilver and end up in this universe because he got dragged from his universe and now here. I don't know. I hope so, because all I know is it'll be very, very disappointing if all Pietro turns out to be is this facsimile made by another character, and I'll be like, bruh, you really shagged us of X-Men, you know. You really deceived us. You violated. You gave us hope and they took it away. No, don't do that to me.
But I did say to Moni earlier, Marvel's known to be doing that kind of trickery before. They'll be like, oh, the Mandarin is coming to Iron Man 3. Beware, he's gonna and then
no, that was a vibe. But the thing is,
or even in like the last Spider-Man movie, it was like, oh, he's from a different universe. The snap tore a hole in reality, and now there's a psych. He was lying.
See, we've been here from the beginning. We fans. Like, don't nothing get past us. You can't deceive us.
The only reason I'm gonna circle back to something you said earlier about what if Quicksilver is in fact Quicksilver? He is literally Pietro from the X-Men. Why not? Because I feel like I can count on one hand the amount of times I've seen a Marvel movie or a Marvel project and didn't see the twist coming. One hand. Red Skull appearing in Infinity War was one of them. Bucky killing Iron Man's parents in Civil War. That was another twist that we genuinely didn't see coming.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Stop lying.
I didn't see it. But like, here's the thing. It wasn't so much it just didn't surprise me like in the same way. No. What? No. What? No. Let me hear me out. When it happened, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Rather than, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Like, when I found out,
that is crazy.
Because like the only reason I wasn't like that is because we knew Bucky was getting frozen and unfrozen to do assassinations. For him to go and kill Howard Stark and the wife makes sense to
Maria Stark
and the wife. Okay, fine. Fine. I forgot her name, and you guys get mad at me. Come on, now. Come on, May. Okay, Howard and Maria Stark, they killed them off. It makes sense it makes sense. No, as in like, I wasn't surprised. I was just like, that makes sense. Like in terms of like who is going to kill them, how they die. It makes sense, especially since we knew that.
I always say I was team captain when I went in the movie, and I was team Iron Man when I came out.
Really?
Yes,
I stayed team Iron Man, blood.
As soon as I found out Bucky killed his friend, I was like, oh, you're gonna have to drop him. Oh yeah, fire your tank missile. He's got to go. Sorry,
Team Cap had a kind of shit team anyway.
And that's a different argument for a different episode. that there is a long one. I'll literally, I've got my dissertation here now. I'll pull it out and just be like, all right, now here we go, page 17. This and this, that. I've got a whole chapter on the MCU.
Okay, cool. But like I'm saying, on one hand, I can count the surprises: Civil War, Red Skull in Infinity War. I don't know if you guys seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but in season 1, that twist broke my heart. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but the whole thing, the storyline with Ward and everything like that hurt my feelings. And from the get-go, whatever's been happening in WandaVision, because every episode is what? And as soon as you see, please stand by.
Yeah, it's true. Here's the thing.
You feel it in your chest.
So annoying. Because here's the thing. it gives you pieces, but you can't do no Sherlock Holmes and piece it together and be like, oh, this is gonna happen.
That was another twist that I didn't see coming.
Okay, yeah, that was very surprising.
I was like,
oh right, yeah.
I was like,
it just happened. Like they kind of just brushed it away. Like, yeah,
it's true.
They were like, yeah, Vision's worthy. I was like, huh? Okay. Thanks for that.
Absolutely ridiculous. But that's what I'm saying. I feel like Marvel now has the opportunity to actually completely blindside you.
No, they do, but like,
and there will, of
they
course,
probably will bring in
some
X-Men
people
because they
will be
own
like,
Fox now.
I knew it. And whatever comes out at the end of the season, like, I said this from the beginning, you know, there will always be, people. But I'm currently standing on the point where Quicksilver is who he really is. I still think Agnes is Agatha Harkness.
We can hope.
Yeah.
We can hope.
But I have no idea who's the villain, what's going on, who's controlling who. We haven't gone to the bottom of that.
I mean,
and
like,
I'm enjoying.
I'm enjoying the ride.
I'm not gonna lie. Every time I think that something is happening in this show, like the next episode, it's thrown out the window. So
it's true.
My hypothesis again.
Like, I'd kind of like for there not to be a big bad guy. Like I kind of just want it to be about Wanda's grief and how she's dealing with that.
It's viable based on the trailer with some of the things you see in it. It is very viable that is how it is.
Yeah.
I mean, especially now with how last episode ended.
Yeah, like it would be a really interesting, different approach for us to take.
And having it be like about her rather than it having to like incorporate all the men.
all the men. And you know what? Talking about that now, you know what? Because we knew from pause. You like it's getting a bit mad now. Like, so obviously we all know that I started watching a lot of anime. Like, this is gonna feed into WandaVision as well. Because like the one thing that I am actually enjoying about this one is this is the first time I'm looking at the questions and being like, actually, they're doing a little bit better. I'm not saying they're perfect because I'm not gonna lie. Some of those 50s and 60s dresses were a bit like, there's a lot of titty. There's a lot of titty being
Okay. Only you would notice that.
Wait, hold on.
He's the only one that would notice titties.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap. Right, bro. No, but think about it. Like, even when Wanda came out of Westview in her Scarlet Witch MCU costume, it was the long red. It was very much I think it was mostly the one from Endgame. I think it might have changed a little bit. Maybe the darkness covered it, but like it wasn't like when we see in the comments where she has like this swimsuit thing and
the comic outfits for women were
the comic outfits for women
so
are just it's different. Okay, it's different. Yes. So and we all know that like I've been saying to you guys, can I talk to you about the fetishization in this? In the animes I have been watching, and
what have you been watching, Darrius?
So you make it sound mad sus when you say what have you been watching, but that's beside the point. Anyway, so I started with One Punch, which obviously One Punch is One Punch. Okay. So it's calm, normal things. Yeah. It's just logistically the only issue with One Punch is comedy. Then I moved on to the disastrous life of Psyche K. So it's the one guy with the pink hair and the glasses, is like a psychic, got mad powers, and it's meant to be sort of like a satire spoof thing. But what I notice is it's got a lot of, like female characters in it that are desired by all the male characters. There's one character, the male character even there, there's just a straight up perv. This guy has Playboy comics for days. I mean, stacks of the stuff, bro. There's one moment where he reforms and then instantly just laps his back and is just drooling over boobies. It's mad. Just drooling over boobies. It's mad. Man's drooling over boobies. It's mad. Man's Did you see that? So obviously with that, there's a lot of perversion going on. But some of the intro cutscenes are just, I don't know how to say it. Voluptuous is the word I'm going to use. It's too much considering these kids are 16.
What's the name of the anime?
It's called The Disastrous Life of
Psyche K. Oh, okay, cool.
It's meant to be like a play on the word of psychic, I think.
Okay, Psyche K. Okay, cool.
You incognito, yeah.
That's what I'm thinking, bro.
Nope. I don't even know what to type, blur.
Just
All I
pops up
know
on
is
your
that
VPN.
all I
like.
know is it could go horribly wrong, and I don't want to be showing, just straight up.
If it's a true
Hentai.
representation
Hold
of
on.
the fetishization that you are talking about, then by all means, means.
Yeah, if you Google, the pictures are mad, and I just don't understand. I'm like, what is the need?
What pictures? What should I be looking for?
I said,
Yeah.
I just realized what I said.
Hey, hold on. I'm doing my duty for
duty. Duty. So you're searching up 16-year-old animated.
This is for the content.
No, I don't want to say to finish that sentence. It sounds mad.
This is for the content.
It sounds mad.
I genuinely don't know what he's talking about. So I want to know. So I got. Daisy, like
what
that.
Is Daisy fan?
Oh no, it's fan art. Okay, thank God.
This is what I mean. The fan art is mad.
Like, is it, Darrius? Would you know?
No. Okay. You know what I do know? As I said, I did my research before I came. There is a whole Reddit page dedicated to animated fan art. And to be fair, I discovered. Actually, no, I don't know why you're being sarcastic with that look for. Like, of course, I know we shouldn't be surprised. There are some perverted neckbeards out there. Like, that's how it be. I said it. Yeah, I said it. Anyway, no, like, so I was.
Oh no! Oh no!
You're wrong for that. You're actually terrible for that. You mad? Don't beat yourself out like that. Don't do yourself. Even Kieran and Moni are so unimpressed. I don't even know. Oh, anyway, rule 34, basically what it is if there's anything that can be turned into, sexual pictures, it can. That's what rule 34 is. I don't know where.
If something exists, there is porn of it somewhere.
Well, I'm glad that she knows the exact wording for it.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you, Daisy.
Know thy enemy. In Jesus Christ, I trust.
Well, we all know this. This is true. Anyway,
I'm just dealing with the fact that somewhere out there's an A to Z of just
like, to be honest, I shouldn't be that surprised, but it's the fact that it exists and a lot of it is targeted at these hypersexualized teenagers. All the kids in this TV show that I was watching, and it is the thing, it's in the TV show itself. Like, every time there's a cutscene, it's always like there was one of the there was one of the Mandem even lying on a bed together in season 2, and I was just like, what is going on in the dunya? I want to understand what is this like.
What did they do in the bed, G?
They were just lying next to each other and then showing their abs. That's it. Like, it wasn't deep, but it's almost like, for me, I'm just trying to fathom it. Like, WandaVision is doing amazingly. Even when they did the comic book accurate costumes, like, it's not like they were doing too much. There were leggings. It was all cool. It was calm. We were all good. There was no issue. Like, even when we were going into the 60s and 70s, it wasn't like we had them in mini skirts and go-go boots. Or was that 80s?
Yeah, they did the fashion of the time.
Cool. They did the fashion of the time, but they did it respectfully. Yeah. Anime has not cottoned onto that right now. Like, they've got 16-year-olds with melons, and I'm like, and cleavage exposed.
I have nothing to contribute to.
All I'm saying is, like,
it sells, and it shouldn't sell, and that shouldn't be.
No, it shouldn't. It really
that they do.
And the problem is the plot line was so good. I finished it. I finished all 4 seasons, but at the same time, I was very uncomfortable by the amount of underage boobies that were on display. Yeah. And I couldn't get past that.
Yeah.
Boobies, please.
I'm sounding man passionate about that.
I was watching Attack on Titan on Netflix, and I heard all these things about it's one of the most horrific and violent animes. Not the most, but like if for someone who's just getting into anime, it's going to be like a shock to the system, bring you in real fast. And then I'm watching it, and I am watching these Titans kill people, and they're meant to be like biting people's arms off, this, that, and the third. And I'm watching it, and I'm thinking, is this it? because I was promised people.
Is this it?
Yes, that's the thing. So I don't know if you've got like a VPN on what you're watching, but the especially when it comes to anime, a lot of things are either toned up or toned down depending on which region you're watching. So when we're talking about like fetishization, like to what degree are they remaining faithful to the fetish that they were catering to?
100%, 100% faithful.
What
This was not for 12-year-old kids, man.
This is bad. When I looked up, when I did a Google search on Psyche K, or whatever it's called, I was like, fam, they're in uniform, G. Like, I don't understand what your problem
They're
is.
in
And now
uniform?
what you're talking about.
Watch the anime and then you'll see.
That's the thing. I ain't seen the anime.
Okay, no.
Saying,
Watch it. You got Netflix. Watch it.
Nah.
Nah. You don't see no titties? Okay, cool.
No, I have no. Listen, I don't mind this going public. I have no business watching no underage nudity before my eyes. Nah.
No, but hear me out.
We ain't gonna get you catching a case.
No. I'm not trying to catch a case. I'm saying that obviously, but like I'm giving you an example of something that happened in the anime that I was just like, why the hell is this happening?
You tell us about that.
There's this like they have like a little psychic squad, so there's 3 of them. One can talk to ghosts, one can see the future in her little glass ball, and then Psyche K has just got immense powers. Now, Psyche K has the power to freeze people and turn them to stone if his glasses fall off with his eyes. So now the 3 of them, the 3 psychics come together to try and resolve this issue. Now what happens is that one of the girls is like in love with Psyche, and he says, oh, come over. So he returns from the house and she is half naked, covered by blankets, I might add, in the bed. And she's like, she's in subtitles, it says something to the effect of take me now. And I'm like, huh?
No.
Big man thing. I did not need to see that. This is not age rated for 12. It's not. This should be 18, maybe 15 at a push.
For 12?
Anyway, man said, yeah, it was 12 rating. I was like, huh?
Was that the rating Netflix gave it?
Yes, that's the rating Netflix gave it.
Was that the rating the studio gave it?
Like,
Netflix came out with cuties, so we already know how they feel about fetishization of young people.
That's true.
We can talk about other shows that are going in like out of their depth, like on topics that they really have no business talking about.
And we're gonna look into this. I know what you're talking about.
Listen, I am at my big age of 21. And did the new Tracy Beaker come out this year? Yes, it fucking did. Did I sit down and watch it twice? Not maybe even 3 times? Yes, I did.
Am I planning to watch it at all? No, I do not. But continue.
What's her name? Danny Harper?
Danny Harmer is still in it. Yes,
she's in it. How old is she?
Oh, she's deep in her 30s now, at least.
But when I tell you, Kieran here was asking, I was like, Kieran, I need to watch this with someone because this is something that I cannot keep to myself. I need to discuss this shit. When I tell you, I described it. How did I describe it to you, Kieran? Grey's Anatomy for 8-year-olds. Like, full on. That show covers a range of topics that has absolutely zero business on children's TV.
Is it still called Tracy Beaker?
It's
called My Mom Tracy Beaker.
Yeah, so it's based on one of the spin-offs that one of the spin-off Tracy Beaker that Jacqueline Wilson wrote.
Yeah.
And I heard it came out, and then I had no idea when it came out, but Moni watched it and she just popped off my phone like, this show is problematic. And
pray tell, because I have no intention of watching it.
In terms of it's a throwback show. You know what I mean? It's legacy TV. When we were younger, it was like coming home, switching on the TV, and Tracy Beaker would be on, right?
Was Tracy Beaker problematic?
No, it wasn't. But even when you turn on CBBC to watch My Mum Tracy Beaker, the guy goes, as you they're aware that there are adults, full grown
exactly, but
20s, 30s watching this show.
Of course,
they know it.
It's so money. That's what, like I was saying before, we delve deeper into what actually transpired in that limited series. It's like if our parents, all us, man, you gotta start watching Sanford and Sons.
What?
That show slaps. First of all, I am watching it. I think it's hilarious. But the point is, like, it's funny to them because it was funny during their time. So if I was to go to someone in the CBBC demographic, I was like, man, they brought back Tracy Baker, you know. You need to
Try to biker.
Speaker, you know. You need to
Try to biker. Try to biker. Try to biker.
Put your eyes on Tracy Beaker. That thing was the great. Listen, man, it's like you say CBBC, you think Tracy Beaker. That is how
that being said,
iconic the show is. If I got like my little cousin or a young person to watch that show, they'll come and be like, huh?
Go back to when I tried to get a 7-year-old to watch High School Musical and they asked me to turn it off after 10 minutes, and I was like,
good.
What do you mean good? What do you mean good? No.
Trash TV. What are you talking about? That's a terrible film. That film is so bad. I watch it for drinking games now. That's how bad it was.
I don't watch it.
Drink every time you see a basketball.
There was no
die. Are you planning to die? Oh my god!
I did die. It was a very good day. I can't lie. Made High School Musical much easier to watch. But like with Tracy Beaker, as you were saying, about like it was art for our generation. Yes, it was to a certain extent. But Tracy Beaker and the concept of it has been running for the longest time. They did Tracy Beaker, the original, which ended in 2011, I think, or something like that.
No, 2005.
Was it 2005? Well, they brought it back in 2011 then with Tracy Beaker Returns. And then they had the Dumping Ground, which is going to this day. And they had Tracy Beaker in it to like remind us of Danny Harmer. Anyway, so I watched all this Tracy Beaker Returns. Then I got into Dumping Ground. And as I was watching, I was like, I'm feeling it. They're touching on some really big issues here. But then by the time I took season 8, I was just like, this isn't like, it's good, don't get me wrong, but like this isn't the same vibes as it was before, if it makes sense.
Well,
I'm just watching it for the sake of watching it so I can, be up to date and know what's going on.
Yeah, I get that. But our experience with it, we didn't have to reach season 8. It was
I never liked Tracy Beaker when I was
first episode where we were like, this is not the show that we grew up with.
I haven't even watched it.
Let's delve in. I don't know if you guys have read the books, and you guys obviously haven't watched the show. Tracy Beaker is now a mum. Okay, Tracy Beaker has a young daughter, probably around the age of 9. Her name is Jack.
Is it her own, or does she adopt her?
No, it's her own. Yeah. I was thinking.
So this is the thing. Okay. We go into this and we're like, where's the baby daddy at? This show. You know what?
I did ask that. I looked at the pics. I was like, where did dad at?
Brought it up. Let me let's just put it out there. There's no good male role. There's a single male character in the whole show, and even then, in terms of role models, you're not finding it here. You're not finding it here. None of it.
Female role models. Like the only person I can tell you is actually any good is Cam.
Yeah.
She looks back.
Yeah.
She looks exactly the same. No, she looks exactly the same.
Stop the cap. She must be old as the hills, blood. Why are you running for?
All right.
I mean, we know what they say.
Man, did you or did you not have a crush on Justine Littlewood? Yes or no? It's a simple question.
I wouldn't even lie.
So,
here's the thing. Liar! Get out of here!
Justine Littlewood.
She was so annoying. She was so annoying.
I'll be very honest with you.
Pause. Daisy,
guys, when I didn't really watch Tracy Beaker when I was younger. I didn't. Like, watching it when I was younger, from A to Z, this time, when I was like, this was at uni. So I was like 19, 20, was probably the first time where I watched it all the way through and saw every episode. I would only watch it if I by force.
Like that, but still,
I wasn't feeling Tracy Beaker. Like, my eyes are on different things, blood. I mean, I wasn't feeling the show like that. You nasty ass. Anyway, I was watching MI High. I was watching, bro. I'd watch Columbo. I'd watch Columbo before I watched Tracy Beaker. I can't even lie.
Here's the thing.
Here we are, true.
First of all, yes, I did have a crush on Justine Littlewood.
That's you.
Yes, she was absolutely annoying. The most jarring character in the show. However, the two facts are mutually exclusive.
No.
I think what? She was irritating.
It just is what it is.
She would go into the kitchen and mess up everyone's food just because. Like
Yes,
she's
sorry.
she's annoying.
Do you know what Justin Littlewood is? Justin Littlewood
I was
is
like, damn, she pretty, but stop talking. Oh my goodness.
Nah, man.
That-
Obviously Justin Littlewood has problems. So when I look at Justin Littlewood and she's messing up people's food or she's chatting bare, I'm like, this goes in care. Mom and dad don't love her. But like now that she's grown up, I'm like, clearly she's just a bitch. Like as simple as that. Like,
oh, hold on.
Like obviously she's had trauma, but like Danny or what's her name? Tracy. Tracy. I keep saying that. I keep saying actor's name rather than the character's name. So Tracy has grown up and has been better, but at the same time, she had a stepmom, Cam, too.
Bro,
Cam didn't come till late in the show.
Yeah, but like I know, but like even though she had moral support.
Darrius, you've not seen the show.
Yeah,
I don't appreciate you coming through trying to make
No,
up.
I thought Cam adopted her.
No, you've not seen My Mom Tracy Beaker. You can't come around and tell me that Tracy grew up to be better than Justin.
Well, okay, she was better.
I cannot agree with you on that.
Can I hold on?
We want to talk about the kids at school. We want to talk about school. Tracy Beaker has not ever learned to discipline her child. That kid has never seen a punishment in her life.
She white.
That child was the most annoying thing.
What, Jess?
Yeah, Jess.
Does the child have like
no intention
brownish hair and glasses and sold in a dog?
Yeah.
That's that child. I'm gonna get onto that dog in a second. That we're gonna discuss that dog. But when we go into the show, going back into like what actually happens in the show now. Tracy, we are introduced to Tracy. Well, I think it's through Jess's narrative.
Jess's eyes. Yeah.
That this is my mom, Tracy Beaker. First thing we find out, she works 5 jobs. That's the first thing that they tell us about Tracy Beaker. Like,
she lost 5 jobs.
She works at least.
Oh,
5. She's like waitering, and then what else does she do?
Dog walking.
She walks dogs. Listen,
she writes books.
She is doing what she writes, but she's doing what she needs to do to keep that roof over her child's head, and I can commend that. Second thing we know about Tracy Beaker, she runs the block. Yeah, she
deals drugs.
Well,
I'm looking at it now. I'm only like 30 seconds in.
I'm going to say no, but off the record, we have our suspicions. Yeah.
I've seen her dealing drugs. So, Tracy Beaker.
Well, we don't know if it's drugs per se, but we have man walking in and out of her flat quicker than.
First of all, that was.
She's stealing those types.
It was a quick montage of her different.
Rendezvous in Devon.
Man says she's dealing out the nunny.
And I think they showed like four or so different dudes who, by the way, had nothing in common with either of them. She had no time. She had no time.
Yeah, so she's dealing out the nunny. Like it's mad.
First of all,
I mean, we need to look back at the men that she had, that she considered pursuing back in Tracy Beaker days.
Also not worth it.
Ben, Crash, these men.
Ben, first of all, let's talk about characters that just never appeared. Ben doesn't come back. I don't remember Ben, the little black kid who
Ben should come
Tracy's
back. Best friend.
Yes.
Friend.
He probably didn't want to come back. Probably wanted to just leave him
Ben doesn't come back. Mike doesn't come back.
Oh, Mike left the show. I can't lie.
Duke, I think they implied that Duke is dead for some reason.
Why is he dead?
Duke, it's not confirmed or anything like that. But
which one's Duke again?
The chef, the big guy.
Well, the
they've named some.
Yeah.
They named
something
after.
Is he dead in real life?
I think.
No, he's not. I checked immediately.
Okay. No, because I thought he might be, because someone from that show is dead in real life. I can't remember who it is.
Oh, Gina.
Well,
yes, that's it. Gina's dead.
Is that Elaine? Because Elaine doesn't come back.
No, Gina was in Dumping Ground.
Yeah, Gina from Dumping. Here's the thing: she was in Tracy Beaker Returns as well. She is dead in real life.
Elaine doesn't come back.
Oh.
You need to move away from COVID.
What's the guy's name? Gary doesn't come back, but there's good reason for Gary not to come back, which we learned that about Gary. I don't know if you guys remember, that was the guy that Cam got
married to.
But there's good reason. Yeah, there's good reason for Gary not to come back. So there's a lot of legacy characters that got left out. She
But
first of all, Justine, be careful. Be careful who you make enemies with here, because she glowed all the way up. She got herself an education. She's a CEO of her own business.
Justine.
She
got a first.
She's out here wearing designer. She's wearing a first. She got a first. She's out here appearing on all these magazine articles.
Do you know she got a first? So she pop on the screen and say, "Guys, I got a first." Okay.
She's like, I got a first class degree.
Oh, damn.
But she's still a bitch.
Yeah.
Nah, here's the thing. All that superficial shit doesn't make her for person.
She stole Tracy's man and Fool knew about it. She rocked up at her house. She saw the rock on Tracy's finger. She knew.
Okay.
She's sitting there in Tracy's dining room, full knowing Tracy is engaged to the man in front of both of them.
Okay.
Again, I say that
first of all, here's a question for you. I'll give the question first of all, because when we found out that basically there's a guy called
Sean Godfrey.
And I was gonna segue into his arc in this, but yes, he and Tracy start to begin a relationship. Let me just give a background to my argument. Sean is some ex-footballer who now like runs his own.
He bust his knee.
Charity.
He played for West Ham.
He's played for West Ham. And apparently him and they introduced him by Jess's teacher recommends some kind of fitness class to Tracy, and they go, and it turns out it's being run by Sean Godfrey. And she was like, "Oh, Tracy, is that you?" Apparently they knew each other. My guy, Tracy didn't know his face, and she didn't know his name. Not just now, even when they supposedly knew each other way back when. He's like, "Yeah, we used to call you football. I had no idea your name was Sean." So he took that as she wants me. And so he somehow money I lie. So I
gotta start using that one. We used to call you football. instant man.
He's still saying that because on the streets that has a completely different meaning. Can't lie.
And
what?
Then,
we used to call you football.
No, if you call someone local football, it basically means that they slept with everybody. But that's beside the point.
Oh,
keep going.
So is that what we're calling you?
Know.
Wait, me, Money? I don't know why you're chatting for. And you're at Aye, Daisy. Here's the thing, there were plenty of times I wanted to go for Kieran saying Sean sounds like you, but you know what? I didn't, because I didn't think this is that type of podcast. But now I see, okay, we're going to at people now. Say less.
Anyway, so
I thought you frozen.
No.
Money took it there. Money took it there. It's okay.
Anyway, they go on a date, and by the way, they went to a club for their first date.
That's what they.
So first of all, I was like,
he's Sean and Tracy.
That's not a date.
For a club.
Was she dealing her drugs in the club?
No, she wasn't pushing weight. She took the night off. So
yeah, Cam and Jess made muffins.
Yes.
Don't know what that means. It sounds fucking disgusting.
They're probably weed brownies still.
They made Cam and Jess made. Who's Jess? The child. Okay.
That's child labor right there. Someone call social services. Back to the dumping ground for you. Let me have Jess in the dumping ground. That would be a plot.
The show in itself was problematic. The show really was. Like, it raised many issues.
I want you to list every single topic this show tried to cover.
No, dumping ground is still going, you know.
So okay, the first season, not 8. The first one, let's cover gaslighting, right?
Boom.
So Jess, the little kid, finds Sean Godfrey's and the reason I'm using his full name, because at no point in the show does anyone call him anything other than Sean Godfrey. It's never Sean, it's never Mr. Godfrey. It's never my man or fiance, nothing like that. It's always Sean Godfrey. So Jess comes across Sean Godfrey's phone and finds messages like your one hot babe being sent to someone called Jay. And in true, like following the true nature of a road, she stalks him to wherever he's going, and that's when she discovers that Sean Godfrey is having an affair with Justine Littlewood. And then she, again, as all 9-year-olds do, decides to confront him and be like, you're a monster, I hate you, and Sean's like, you wouldn't tell your mom though, would you? That's just gonna hurt her. You don't want to hurt your mom, would you? And I'm thinking, that's not really a fair request to be making to a little girl, I think, personally.
We also bear in mind how quick this whole thing happened. By the end of episode 1, they've been on like what we can see as 2 to 5 dates, moved in together, and are engaged. No,
it was one day. It was one day because it was
but we know about at least 2 because they talk about going out for a meal.
No, that was their meal. So their first date was a club. And then Tracy's like, I ain't feeling this. It's too much paparazzi. You're just a show off, ratata. And so decides to humble himself and, calm the situation. They go to a chicken shop. And by the way, this chicken shop has blue plastic
forks. They're eating chicken and chips with a fork.
So they're clearly in Chelsea or Kensington. Having this,
Chelsea, not even Chelsea give you plastic forks and that. They must be in like Homerton or some shit, bruv.
Well, who knows?
Chirac.
So that's date number 1. And he takes her home as he does and gives a little peck. Nothing. That's the most that ever happened on the show, by the way. That's the most affection anyone has ever given. Besides a hug, there's only that's as lightning fast a kiss as there could be. For some reason, Jess is 9-year-old but has an unlimited curfew, and so she sees her mom getting a lightning fast kiss, and then she just has the rankest attitude from the get-go. You're not supposed to like him. And it's like, hold on. With that same mouth, you were saying you got to give him a chance.
Tracy walks into her room. Tracy walks into the kid's room to give her a kiss goodnight. I saw Max the book closed. Why did you kiss him? You're not supposed to kiss him. You don't like him. Like,
first of all, Tracy.
What part of part of 9-year-olds don't make sense? Are we not getting there? Like,
that's a 9-year-old reaction.
I think that's a normal reaction, even for a 13-year-old.
That's not a normal reaction.
For a kid,
she's 9.
They don't understand the complexities of it. They just want their mom.
Let me explain to you. So far, I think you're blatantly wrong about this being a bad.
Let me keep going into it. Yeah.
I wish it myself.
Her 9-year-old in the complexity of a 9-year-old is like, is he the one? And I'm like, we were thinking, the what? Sorry, how many what? Did we just see like 4 ones leave your mum's house the other day?
No. That's just business. That's just business.
What other ones that already left? So what do you know about the one, young G?
I'm terrible. I'm gonna get cancelled.
Secondly, her attitude towards Sean Swifts, and another topic in my mind that they cover is extortion. Yeah, and Tracy, as proud as she is, always says, "I'm not after Sean for his money." By the end of the first episode, she quit all her jobs, moved in with my guy.
He lives in a mansion. He has a mansion with a pool. Now listen, they're having a meal.
Okay, that's wrong.
He also buys the daughter a dog.
Listen.
And then when they're making some bougie ass meal, the girl feeds the bougie steak to the dog. If I was Sean, I'd be fuming, and Sean is fuming. Yeah. As soon as Sean's like, "Are you feeding my prime fillet steak to the dog?" And then Jess is like, "You don't tell me what to do." And then
why is Jess just turned into mini Tracy Beaker from back when she was?
Turns around, he's like, "Are you gonna let her speak to me like that?" She says, "Yes, I am gonna let her speak to me like that." Walks out. They leave. They walk down the street. Next thing you know, some pink Cadillac coming, pulling down the road with Sean in it, being like, "This car is for you." Gets down on one knee. My man proposes, and next thing I know, she's like, "Can I sleep on it?" Jess goes, "Give me the keys to the car," and they're off.
Just the child says, "Give me
Jess
the keys
is
to this."
fucking 9. You're not getting it. Like,
give me the keys to the car.
Girls,
They get in the car, they drive away. My man's sat there with a
Jess is driving the car.
Tracy's driving.
No, Tracy.
But Jess calls all the shots. So this man loses a pink car and doesn't have an answer to his question, "Will you marry me?" whilst they drive off in this car.
Okay, based on what you've told me, so you've told me about gaslighting for the. Well, first of all, let's address the 9-year-old.
Another thing they topic.
Oh, there's more. Tease don't. There's not more.
Oh, yeah, no, but like homophobia and mental health both together.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Make it end. I know mental health and homophobia. They are very serious topics, but Tracy Beaker, like.
That's the thing.
I don't know. They feel like they're doing something, but they're really not.
Like, so the whole thing with like homophobia, for some reason, Tracy's birth mum is being brought into the mix.
Yeah, man.
I didn't even know those girls were tight. By the way, that is such a toxic woman. Tracy's
birth mum pulls up into the house and they're talking about how, you know, Tracy's been adopted by Cam, and like somebody refers to Cam as being Tracy's real mum, or like something about how the mum has like been a really bad person bringing up Tracy. And then, you know, the mum goes, "Oh, so you've turned them against me, have you? Like, this is how you work. If it weren't for your lifestyle, you could have had your own kids."
Here's the thing. I feel like a lot.
The mum or Cam?
The mum
said that. If it weren't for Cam's lifestyle.
Oh, okay. What was Cam's lifestyle? I thought she's alright.
I'm confused.
Let me put it into context to you.
Yeah.
At the end of the
Cam's a lesbian.
Yes.
Oh my god! Really?
What?
The point we're making is that whilst we were in the midst of Tracy Beaker, it was like maybe up until like the last episode, I was like, "Isn't this is for CBBC, right?" I thought this was a children's show.
Especially now, CBBC. I don't know when it changed, but they've always been this sort of thing of, you know, like trying to be, you know, reflection of societies and trying to be, you know, representative and be aware of all these things.
The issue isn't the type of content that's being covered in the show. The main problem is that there's zero world building being done. Everything happens like that. So that's why it's such a shock to the system.
Yeah, but that's what I mean.
Boom, they're engaged. You're like, oh, just as fast as they're engaged, he's having an affair. And before you like get lost in that situation, just be aware that Tracy's birth plan also holds certain prejudices. And also, don't spend too much time focusing on that, because we have to mention the fact that black men aren't apparently, because Sean was not
black men can't cheat.
Was not repping the team. That's exactly what I said. Black men don't cheat. So like, this is a false representation of the culture. And,
well, I feel like
there was one good character who I did genuinely enjoy in the show, and that was Jess's teacher. Jess's teacher was
who then does actually end up moving to Jess's grandma, but
yeah. Also, that's another thing that happens. It's just like, how would you feel if you was in school and your teacher?
If your teacher was Denzel Washington.
What the fuck? There's no correlation.
On the topic of Denzel Washington, actually,
I
heard there's some stuff going about Denzel Washington. I don't know what it is, but
this motherfucker. We'll come back to the rest of it another time. But yes, Denzel. I don't want to call him a dickhead because Denzel is Denzel, but like,
don't you ever?
Oh my God.
Listen,
Kieran. Let me finish.
Be careful how you talk about Uncle Denzel, yeah.
So Denzel Washington defends cops amid Black Lives Matter movement, and I'm looking at Denzel and I'm like looking at him getting old, and I'm thinking, bro, maybe all that time in Hollywood has got to him, and the Uncle Tom, Uncle Ruckus side of him is starting to come out. It's even showing in his face and shit. Like, look at him.
Watch your mouth when you're talking about Uncle Denzel.
beginning to look, we're beginning to look like Bill Cosby and stuff. Anyway, you know, you know that elderly.
You better mind your man. Remember who?
Can I get a wow? Yes, I can. Anyway. No, here's the thing. I love Denzel for his art and what he does, but this here, I'm like, right. I am not going to get into the nitty-gritty of the politics behind this, but what do you feel about celebrities and talking about serious matters? I mean, we've talked about serious matters here. Like, we ain't celebs. Hey, one day we might be, but like, we ain't celebs now. And we're here talking about the problematic nature of Tracy Beaker, fetishization. We even kept a line and talked about WandaVision and just like, you know, how the good things doing there. But like, what do we feel about people with an influential platform speaking on serious topics? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing?
It creates discussions within like the groups of people who are listening to what they're saying. They can either say stuff to please those people, or they can say stuff that's a little bit controversial to get people thinking. But they're like, celebrities aren't like political figures. They make mistakes a lot, and they can say stuff that like hurts their career. But just use your platform for good, or shut up if you don't have all the facts. And a lot of celebrities don't do that. They're like, well, you know, I want to say something, so I'm going to say it. It just takes, you just need to like sometimes think a little bit before you speak.
As Daisy said, like, you've got to have all the facts, and you know, it's like, if you are going into an industry, if you're going into a career and you feel like being political is a big part of you as a person, then start on that foot and continue. But if you've built up your career appearing, let's say, as somebody pretty apolitical with no open opinions, once you start coming out with something, especially like politics, which is so like polarizing and can be extremely controversial, you have to be extremely careful on, especially because on both the left and the right, the support and the following is so intense that if you upset one side or the other, all hell could break loose. And you know, that could be super damaging for your career. It doesn't really matter which side you're on, but you know, the drive is there. But it's like, you need to make sure that if you are going to come out with something that could be deemed as controversial, you want to be able to support it and convey your argument in a succinct way. Because as soon as you fall, as soon as you're able to be fact checked, as soon as you're able to be caught out, that's it for you.
Game
and
over.
if you can't do that, then don't say it.
Just keep it to your group chat. You don't need to put it on Twitter. You don't need to. You don't need to.
I'm not gonna lie. There are too many people. There are too many people. Wait, hold on. Don't look at us like that. Like saying we should have kept our group chat. That's not what we mean. But no, I feel like that is the key there, because there are certain things I see on Twitter. I'm just like, my guy, if you hadn't put that out, you'd be living a good life right now. But you played yourself.
Like, why do that? Just text your friend, or text yourself on your phone if you start.
Write it down, or keep it on bed. Just keep it in your mind. It's the best memory bank you're ever gonna have, mate. Like,
exactly.
Speak for yourself.
I mean, certain people do just, you know, take social
I think
media.
I think it depends on how you want to shape your career, and if you feel like political activism is a direction for you, then there shouldn't be any reason. There are going to be people that are going to support you, but it's like you gotta have like the skin for it. Like, you gotta be tough.
It's politics, like, so when you go into it, you're going to have people against you from day one, no matter what side you're on.
Yeah, and you've got to be able to work through that. But as soon as you crumble, as soon as something pushes you back, you're done, because you can't let these things get to you. You need to know someone is going to oppose you, and you need to be able to handle that and deal with those arguments and rebuttal. Like, that's that.
Should a celebrity, just a general question, should a celebrity, every time they feel like sharing a thought or opinion, should they have to be filtered by 4 different levels of PR before it reaches their homepage.
I don't think it's about filtering.
Or should it be like, bro, like, say your thought. Denzel Washington, I promise you, as great as he is and as loyal as he is to his fans, he probably doesn't care about getting cancelled. He's just not of that age.
I do feel like we should be made to be accountable for our words. That's where I'll end at. Be accountable for what you say and how you say it. I have spoken from my t-shirt.
So this has been a great first episode and a debut to the podcast world from us. And guys, make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
Come on, people, make it make sense.
Cut the show.